Hey Saab people, in today's video I'm going to teach you how to modify/repair your rear taillight boards on your NG9-3. This video is going to be sedan specific because I don't have any wagons on the property. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Javen, but you probably know me best as Solving Saab. The issue that most people are going to have with this board and connector is going to be the ground, and because of that I am primarily going to show you a full example of the ground issue alone and how to bypass it. This means you will have 3 wires that will stay in your connector for all of your power/signal, and your ground will be bypassed elsewhere. However, if you have more than 1 pin burnt out on your board or more than 1 wire that has fallen out of the connector, I will later in the video show you where each individual wire needs to go to on the board in order to get the entire bulb set working.
Right here I'm demonstrating I have no tail light function. You can see on this side I have faint function because there's a bad ground. If you take a peek inside of your trunk real quick, we'll pop open this and I will show you a good example. So if you look up here, you can see that your connector is existing in this board right here. If you go ahead and squeeze the little tab right there on the outer side, you can pull out this connector. Now let's take a peek at it. You can see pins 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see wire 3 is just gone. I ripped it right out. That is your ground wire. This wire corrodes/oxidizes, then builds up really high resistance, which builds heat, which melts your connector, which breaks the pin off of the board. This is the left-hand taillight board. You can see that there is supposed to be 4 pins in the hole, but there's only 3. To fix the issue, let's make a new ground. In order to do that, we need to recognize that these bulbs ground on the outside of the silver casing, except for the tip right here. The outside casing of these bulbs actually grounds to the top plate using these 2 little nubs when you twist them into place. So that means that the very top plate surrounding each bulb is the ground portion of the board. If you trace the plate around any one of the 3 bulbs, you should see that they are all connected. This likely means if we make a ground around any one of these bulbs, all 3 will light up. Let's test this theory. Right there. Oh, I saved it before the ground burnt out. The ground is screwed up right here. I have an idea. Let's pull on it. Oops, I broke it. Let's plug it in. We're gonna make a direct connection. Let's see what happens when I ground this to the board. Boop. Oh, it works! Because you can ground it on any one of these points. We are going to be able to make a quick fix. If you don't have any fancy tools, I will show you a trick if you find yourself in a situation and you need to do something immediately to get it working. So you can see right here, here's your bulb, there's your wire. Shove it right in between the socket and the board. You can see the board extends into the hole a little bit right there. So go ahead and throw that in there. You'll want to twist it up a little bit just to make sure that it holds its shape like this, about 90 degrees. Take it in there, take your bulb, only fits one way, but be careful not to smash the bulb in your fingers when you're holding it, because that would really hurt. So there you go. It is now lodged in between the bulb and the board on the ground portion. I just did that on both sides. Okay, let's go ahead and remove our bulb. Blink. Okay, now that our signal bulb is out, let's prep our surface. As you can see, it's got a little bit of corrosion on both sides. It is going to sit like this in the trunk, so we want to work on the side that has the raised section here, because that is going to be the inner towards the trunk. Now I'm just going to cut some spare wire here, cut off more than we need. Twist them up. Now I'm just going to put a quick connect on this wire. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a bead down on the plate, set this in it, and then throw a bead over it. Looks like that's not going anywhere when I scrape at it. So as you can see here, I'm just laying a nice fat bead over the copper wire attached to the board, maximizing surface area here. And all I did to prep the surface was scrape it off with a scraper until it was nice and shiny to get rid of that oxidation. In the long term, what could happen is the aluminum underneath could oxidize and separate that solder from the board, but I don't really foresee that happening. I did a pretty good job with my prep. Well, it's not really the greatest soldering job, but it gets the job done. That's cool. Tug on it a pinch, make sure it's not going to come off. If you don't have the means to solder at home, another thing you can do is put a ring terminal on this end of the wire, drill a small hole through the top plate, and put a very small screw through it, and that should hold a plenty good connection. All right, let's plug her in. Ooh, fits good. Onto our ground wire. It is the black wire. Got it on there. Let's crimp the shit out of it. Here I'm using a male style quick disconnect with heat shrink, just to help any excess corrosion from getting in there. On the board side, we are going to use a female quick disconnect, as you saw before. throw this back in where it belongs. There you have it. Working taillights from broken connectors that are melted. I'm adding this into the video in case anybody else has further trouble. Most people just have a burnt out ground. If you have other wires and other pins that are broken off, I'm going to supply you with what points to connect the positive wires to in case you have to reconnect those as well. Whether you have to use a screw or you want to solder, I will give you a breakdown of where you have to connect. Starting with the board on the right-hand side, if the pin closest to the inside of the trunk or the yellow and purple wire are burnt out, you will need to reconnect this to your turn indicator bulb, and the two posts that you can connect that to are right here and right here. If the purple wire or the second from the outside are broken off or the corresponding pin is broken, you will have to reconnect that to your outer brake light using either of these two spots right here. The outermost wire, the yellow and blue one, or that corresponding pin, that goes to the innermost brake light and connects anywhere along these two pieces of metal right here and right here. The left-hand board, we will start with the wire closest to the inside of the trunk, the brown one. This goes to your turn signal. This goes to the bottom of the board and connects at either of these 2 points right here. The purple wire or corresponding pin that is one further to the outside from the ground, this goes to your outer brake light, and you can connect that to either of these 2 posts right here. The blue wire or the outermost wire will go to the innermost brake light, the higher brake light. You can make a new connection for this wire right here or right here.
One last important thing to check is the ground that connects to the body on both sides of the rear in the trunk. This will be on both the left and the right side, right by the tail light. There is a 10mm nut sitting on the body. Make sure that that is properly tightened and is nice and clean. That will also help this ground situation out a bit. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.